Hello and welcome to the second episode of our Partner Series. For those of you who haven't joined us before, we are running a series of videos which are focused on who our partners are, what they do, and how life event staffing work closely with them to provide the best service possible. Today, I am welcoming Dean Crownover from My Benefit Auctioneer, one of our amazing live auctioneers who we have worked with on countless occasions now. Dean, thanks so much for joining us.
Hi, I'm Dean Crownover with My Benefit Auctioneer. I'm a benefit auctioneer full-time, believe it or not, and I work in the Atlanta area, but I am national. I have been doing this for about 14 years. I was the first benefit auctioneer specialist in Georgia to get that designation from the National Auctioneers Association. I do about 100 jobs a year. The benefit of what I do is I come from entertainment. So I bring with me improv skills, fun skills. I know how to read a crowd. I know how to control a crowd probably better than any benefit auctioneer you're going to ever meet because I've done this for acting 30 years. And in fact, my clients say that is the number one thing they love. Number two, the second close number two is the consulting. So I'm on top of every trend that is happening right now in galas. In fact, I wrote a book about it. So, if I didn't have a green screen, you got, oh, here I am. It's called Paddles Up. Go to paddlesupbook.com, paddles with an S, upbook.com. Get your free PDF copy for all nonprofits, free. This will tell you things that are trending right now in a post pandemic world. I absolutely love working with life events, and I'll tell you why. And I'm going to be very frank. GiveSmart, when the pandemic happened, laid off so many people, they weren't sending people anymore. So luckily, life events popped up, and now I can just tell my clients, call them. They're going to staff because they know all these various platforms. And when I walk in, there's a certain amount of security, knowing they're running check-in, check-out, knowing that they're helping clerk while I'm doing the auction, knowing that the clients, the guests, if they have any questions about the tech, they're going to be taken care of. Because I try to help them too, but I don't know everything. So I can send them over to a life events person who will take care of it, right? So there is this security, and you, the organization, do not need to be worrying about all this tech on the night of your gala. You need to be networking and hobnobbing because your job is to get patrons for life, right? So that's part of what I consult on too. I consult on tech. I consult on run of show. I consult on items, marketing. But one of my biggest things is the paddle raise, AKA the fund to need. It's the number one way to make money now at your gala, not including sponsorships. So sponsorships and fund to need are the hugest of huge.
That's really interesting. So are you saying that paddle raises are now in and live auctions are out?
No, I'm not going to say live auctions are out. Live auctions have gone back to normal, but meaning that pre-pandemic, they were doing okay. Then during pandemic, they surprisingly did great. But then right post, nobody had been on vacations. They'd been cooped up. They were selling through the roof. Now, good year and a half, almost 2 years, they've been going on vacation. Everybody's done it. They're paying normal prices again, but they are giving in the paddle raise like crazy. Also, you have older millennials, what I call in the audience, generation blend. You've got so many various generations of various ages giving now and in the audience. Less is more. Short and sweet. The new norm for how many live auction items you should have is 3 to 5. Let's put it this way. When I joined in it about 14 years ago, it was averaging 10, 12 items because the paddle raise wasn't as defined and doing as well as it is now. Most people want to give. They want the experience of giving. They want to know that they help. Don't get rid of the live auction, but that's part of what a benefit auctioneer is here for, is to help you choose correctly on what you need to do. And don't get me started on the golden ticket, aka the raffle, because that's the new mega live auction item now, right? So I can tell you all about it. In fact, it's in the book.
Great. So that leads us nicely into the benefits of on-site events. During the pandemic, as we all know, people got used to online fundraising, but now we are saying the new norm is back to on-site service. The focus now is on the momentum in the room and the importance of capturing the details of all these donations.
So, clients spend a lot of time with me figuring out the emotional appeal. How are we going to do the funding? What's the testimonial right before? What is the empathy we're trying to get from the audience so they will give more? So that's the art. The science is what is happening behind the scenes. So let me put it in perspective. I ask the client to give me 3 volunteers, usually somebody on their staff, who will clerk for me. That means they're writing down the bidder numbers who give and win. I usually have 3. 2 of them are doing the same job they're writing down, so we have a backup and a primary. Then I have 1 person calculating how much we make. But where the extra security comes in, if somebody, say from Life Events, who is auditing, who is next to them, or maybe they're somewhere in the room and they are doing their own audit. They are also writing it down or putting directly into the computer, but they know with me, because I work with them so much, that they're going to get, because I bring the paperwork from my clerks, they're going to get that paperwork. The Life Events person is going to, manager is going to get it to double check, triple check, put it in the computer. And I'll give you a quick, brief story. I was once doing a school young in my career, before Life Events, before technology was even really, really big, right? It was all paper and pen. And I asked for these 3 clerks, and it was a small school. One of the clerks, a mom, was so drunk that she kept missing. I was on the stage watching her miss things. And I pulled my client over in between items and I said, let's let her go back to the party. Now, that left my other guy, who wasn't drunk. If I'd had a professional behind the scenes in the room who was working check in, check out, like Life Events will do, right? If I had that, then I would have a solid security, and I could have just pointed to them and they could have taken care of that, other than me having to go on the side of the stage. That's an extreme case, but I just know that I'm safe, the client is safe, and we're not going to miss a bid. And you're right, you miss a bid, you miss money. Ooh la la, not so good.
Thanks for the disaster story. Maybe you can also share a success story with our viewers.
Success stories working with your team. They're all success stories. There's not one in particular. I've been working with Keisha and Pam forever. We know each other very, very well. I think I got to tell you, I get the best compliment from Keisha. I think Pam might have said this too, but I get it from Keisha a lot. When she sees and knows that I'm the guy at the event, and not to talk bad about any other auctioneer, but when she sees me, and I get this a lot from a lot of the vendors that are working the event, she absolutely knows, okay, this is going to be professional along the way. Dean will call out the numbers correctly. Dean really makes sure that we are all on the same page before the event, during the event. I like to keep everybody close to the stage if possible, the clerks, so they can literally stop me. And they know, Keisha and everybody at Life Events just knows that, hey, if I need to stop Dean to get that bidder number, he's going to be really cool about it, because I'm the one who tells them, stop me. If you can't hear what I just said, stop me. It's more important you guys get it right than me to continue on.
Yes, absolutely. It's super important that people like yourself running the fundraising element of the night is in total communication and on the same page as the support team and volunteers. It's teamwork. And it's great to work with you, Dean, and other auctioneer partners who work closely with us like this. One thing I'd like to talk about is the return on investment. We know it's tough for nonprofits to budget on expenses to run these amazing galas. Maybe you can touch on the importance of the nonprofit to invest in quality staff and quality auctioneers, as the return in fundraising revenue is significant when run professionally.
So, one of the questions I used to get it a lot at the beginning of my career is, hey, we're a nonprofit. Can you do it for free? Can you do it really, really, really cheap? And at first I did, because I didn't know as much. And then as I got more educated and I joined the National Auctioneers Association and I became a benefit auctioneer specialist, and I went to classes and seminars and nonstop learning, which I still do. Then I got the confidence because the numbers that I was raising for clients was through the roof, to the point where I have a waiting list of people who want me. So then that became, and I will not lie, I probably am one of the highest. The investment in my services is one of the highest you'll probably hear. And there's a reason for it, because my return on investment is so strong, and I keep those numbers for my client. I did one the other day, and the amount of money I raise, and I talk about the money that I raise that I touch. I don't talk, that doesn't include sponsorships, even though I talk about it a lot, and I do advise that, so that they are affected by some of the things that I consult. I'm talking about the live auction, the paddle raise, games, activities, something that night that I have a direct effect on. I ran it. The return on investment was 4,000%. So you paid me one fee and you got 4,000 times that, right? So I would say the same when you are hiring a vendor like a life event, somebody to come run that check-in, check-out, to train those volunteers, to work with me, to solve all problems, to be the liaison with your platform. I guarantee if you ran a return on investment for that, it would be in the thousands too. So these are the two things you don't skimp on. And here's the thing I love saying to a client. If I don't get too much kickback now on price, because most of my clients know I'm worth it and what I do and how I do it. But one of my favorite things is, well, how much did you pay for the band? And how much did the band make you that night?
Great band analogy.
I guarantee you the band is usually more than me and life events put together. And they didn't make you a dime, and they only played for a couple hours. So put it in perspective. We are here to make you money and to keep your organization running. That's important to us, not so much to the band.
Well, Dean, this has been awesome. Thanks so much for joining us today. If any of you have questions for Dean, please do not hesitate to contact him directly or through us. If you're interested in his book, then you can also visit the site that is on screen now.
paddlesupbook.com. Get your free copy right now.
Dean, you are fantastic. Thank you so much. And we wish you a lovely afternoon. All right. Bye.